fighting out of the red corner. Entering the ring, wearing white trunks with red lettering, joining us from Louisville, Kentucky. He weighed in at a ready 183 pounds with a record of 27 wins, 5 losses. He has 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome a fighter they call Glenn, the Promise Thomas. And his opponent across the ring, ready to fight on my right out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with silver trim, proudly representing his home of Minot, North Dakota. He weighed in at 193 pounds. As a former U.S. Olympian, his professional record stands at 44 wins, 3 losses, 21 wins coming by way of knockout. Currently ranked the WBA number 4 cruiserweight contender. Please welcome the former 2-time light heavyweight champion of the world and the pride of North Dakota, known as Quicksilver, introducing Virgil Hill.
Okay, fellas, that's a good, clean fight. Are there any questions of the chief here? Any questions of the chief here? All right, if you're ready to rock, let's roll. Touch him up. Let's go back.
So let's take a look at the rules here in North Dakota. 10-point must system. 3 knockdown rule will be in effect. The standing 8-count rule as well. Fighter can be saved by the bell only in the final round. The referee or the doctor can stop the fight.
First thing we'll see here, Barry, is the fact that Virgil Hill has a very large advantage in terms of his height and in terms of his reach. This should certainly be something to his liking because Virgil is a boxer. He likes to jab, stay on the outside, and pick apart an opponent.
Good right hand right off the bat by Virgil Hill. Thomas, as we've said, has occasionally, while he's been in there with some of the best in his division, he has a tendency on occasion just to try to survive, and of course that won't be good enough tonight. Mom on the back of his trunks. I suppose that could be good news or bad.
I believe that's his Happy Mother's Day greeting to Mom, which I guess we should all make.
Well, he told his mom, Cecilia, that he was going to bring home the bacon tonight, and told us to be sure and say that, so here we are.
So far, the jab of Virgil Hill dominant here in round 1. Virgil says he's just going to remain a cruiserweight now. No more light heavyweight days for him.
Well, he looks bigger. You can tell. Just fuller in general. Not saying that he doesn't look in shape. He does. Right hand by Thomas, but a lunging right hand.
Yeah, Virgil's really had an outstanding career. He's never reached superstardom. I think he had a chance. He was kind of on the cusp of it, but he fought Tommy Hearns several years ago, and he came close in that fight, but ended up losing a decision to Hearns, and Hearns went on to even more greatness, of course, and Virgil kind of receded back into the background again.
20 title defenses for Virgil Hill. Very impressive.
That's a record in the light heavyweight division.
So far, Hill really doing just about anything he wants with Glenn Thomas thus far.
Thomas must get in close and whale away with his left hook to the body if he can.
And that's so tough with the jab of Hill. Thomas has been at it 14.5 years. His career has been marked by inconsistency. There's a little bit of swelling under the left eye, interestingly enough, of Virgil Hill. It's not in a place or at a point that it would be any problem, but it's there.
Glenn has fought some very outstanding fighters. He's beaten a couple along the way, but the guys that he has lost include Mike McCallum and Roy Jones Jr. These are pretty impressive names along the way. James Toney. So he's been in there with the best.
Ducked right into that right hand. That hurt him. He's in big trouble.
Now let's see if Thomas can try to get to work at all. Here he's in much better shape than when he fought Michael Nunn. That is quite evident, at least just from the look of his body. But now for him to be effective, he's going to have to really out-hustle Virgil Hill. When he has been effective in fights, and he's had some good fights along the way, as I mentioned, then he has out-hustled his opposition.
So far, Virgil Hill able to do pretty much what he wants. Just missed with that left. Right now, let's get you over to Sean O'Grady for an observation. Sean?
Yeah, I snagged me one of these great KO towels. These are towels that you see the fans have here. They wave them. They're asking for the KO from Virgil Hill. Are they going to get it?
Well, I'll tell you what, so far it's looking like they are going to get it, as Hill, as we said, really able to do what he wants. Good body shot, and that knocked Thomas backward.
We'll have to see if Sean can save us a couple of more of those towels. Be a good souvenir to take home from Minot, Barry.
That's right, that's right. Well, I got to thinking about, we were talking about Lewis and Clark, the trail coming through here. And it got me to thinking that, said if they'd had a map, they'd have been in Minot, which of course would have meant the University of Oregon would also be here.
Folks, Barry's been waiting for 24 hours to tell you that story.
And it really wasn't worth it, was it? And again, Hill just bringing that right hand so quickly behind the left.
Hill has only lost 3 fights along the way, and some fighters' careers are defined in the end by the losses they took, and in Virgil's case, that'll be at least partially true. That was a great body shot.
Unbelievable body shot. Now, Thomas is going to say it's a low blow. Sure didn't look low from here.
Well, he's claiming a low blow. And he says that to the ref. The ref is Ed Obregon.
Well, now they're going to give him time.
Well, then, the referee did not rule a low blow. He counted over it as what was a knockdown, so he should not be giving him extra time here. I thought it was a legal punch when it was thrown, and now they return to live action.
Well, Thomas got a big break there, I think. Thomas tried to throw a right hand and instead took a right hand.
You know, now the judges face the question mark. Is it a knockdown or is it a low blow?
I think they would have to call it a knockdown. It counted over him.
Then why give him the extra time to recover?
That's true. And again, Thomas goes down, and I don't think this time it was from a punch, and Obregon is going to say that that is not a knockdown.
Well, he came over here, said low blow, although he originally counted, gave him a mandatory 8 count, and then Glenn Thomas got up.
There's a double left hand from Thomas. And a right hand from Thomas. Remember, the crowd here obviously is going to be much more involved when Virgil Hill throws a punch than when Glenn Thomas does.
Virgil a little hot dogging. You know, a little more of this from Virgil Hill early in his career might have amounted to a lot more popularity for him nationwide.
That was much ado about not very much. Hardly any of those punches really did any business.
Virgil last year fought Roy Jones for Jones Championship. Was doing all right in the fight. He was losing the fight, but he was right in there. It was competitive, and then he got hit with that, just got cracked with really a terrifying body punch from Roy Jones. And again, Thomas claiming the low blows are coming from Virgil Hill tonight.
Hill seems to be getting much more in punching range now, too.
And you notice Virgil is still not hesitant about throwing body punches. He's going ahead and throwing them. Despite Thomas's claims, despite the referee's warning.
And now that one was low right there.
you know, Thomas actually looked at Obregon and said, "Come on, ref."
Yeah, and that time he had a case.
I'm surprised that Thomas has not retaliated yet, Ben. If he really feels he's being hit low several times.
And Virgil Hill right back to it all over again.
You can still say Virgil is slower, obviously, than he used to be, but he's bigger now. Reflex is not quite the same, but, you know, fundamentally very sound. Does the right things in the ring. Just a good boxer. You know, Virgil would hope, I'm sure, that he could hit a little harder at this weight, 190 pounds, but I don't think Hill is ever going to be a guy who counts on his power to get things done.
Yeah, it certainly has not been his career thus far. Coming to the end of round 3, and we'll be back. Good right hand by Thomas. And it is interesting, even though Virgil Hill is in, I wouldn't go as far as saying control of the fight, but I think he's ahead in the fight. He's fighting Thomas's fight.
And I think Thomas's improved conditioning here has helped him to the extent where he's fighting a better fight now by far than he fought against Michael Nunn. Certainly a better fight when he just didn't seem ready to fight against Murphy Sosa. He's really here to try to win this bout tonight.
Yeah, I think he is. That's what his people were telling us yesterday when we spoke with him. And, you know, you hear that a lot, and you sort of have a tendency to say, yeah, right. But I think it's an absolute fact here. One thing you don't want to do, of course, is give your opponent the chance to think that he has an opportunity. Again, the apology for the low blow.
Hill has not carried the moniker of dirty fighter through his career, certainly.
Hill every now and then has a tendency to drop that left shoulder, and he's there for the overhand right of Thomas. Thomas hasn't really scored big with it, but he's just missed a few times.
Thomas complaining far too much about low blows.
He's got to worry about the fight.
His trunks, actually, though, are down low. They're below his belly button, which most fighters don't put them down.
All of a sudden, Thomas is looking a little fatigued.
Yep. There's a nice counterpunch by Thomas, though.
Sure was.
Hill made him really relax there, and he ripped off that left hook. He's got a nice left hook, Thomas.
Thomas is not, when he's not missing by much.
Hill had better be careful because Thomas is winging.
I'm telling you, Hill's been ducking under that right hand consistently, and it's getting closer. Coming to the end of the 6th round, it's a very good round for Thomas, especially at the end. So we come to round number 7, and big pep talk going on in the corner of Glenn Thomas. Thomas had a very good last 30 seconds or so of the previous round.
Yeah, they were really trying to encourage him over there, but I was reading the look in his face, too. They were just yelling him and slapping him around in the face a little bit, but he looked kind of tired, and he looked like maybe he didn't believe what they were saying. But he did have his moments.
They also had the wrong round. They had the 6th round upcoming, and this, of course, is the 7th, and on your card, a 4-point edge for Virgil Hill, but it's been a better fight than the scorecard would indicate. There's a good right hand by Hill. And now they get a call on the low blow.
Let's see if there's a point deduction. No point deducted, no point deducted. Although he gave Hill quite a talking to.
Let's go to Sean O'Grady. Sean.
Yeah, I'm in the corner of Thomas, and we're talking, Kelly, about how Thomas is doing. You're a little concerned about no points being deducted for low blows or for fouling, right?
No, there's been 3 occasions. The referee said there would be 1 occasion, on second occasion, that we would take a point away. That's the 3rd occasion. This goes back to what we call hometown cooking. If you don't knock them out, you don't win.
Hometown cooking. Hey, Kelly, also, he's fighting tonight. Thomas is really putting up a battle. Why is that?
Right. That's why we call him the promise, because we promised to come to fight. We know the odds are against us, but we had 2.5 weeks instead of 2.5 days. That's the difference.
He's in good shape. What are the next couple rounds going to show?
We're getting ready to turn up the pace, because we done gave up a few rounds. We wanted to see if we could take Virgil to the deep water. We think he's carrying too much weight.
All right. They want to turn up the heat over here in the corner of Thomas. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks. Well, they're getting him in deep water, but Virgil's still walking on the rocks. That's a good shot by Thomas. Thomas has had his moments, but Hill has won most of the rounds. There's a good right hand. And you mentioned this earlier, Rich, but while Thomas may be gasping a little bit, Hill doesn't exactly look 100% either.
And he's paying the price for the right hands that are hitting him. Take a look underneath his left eye. He's puffing up badly.
You mentioned that, of course, after the first round that there was a little swelling. It's appreciably worse now.
Let him out of here. Let him out of here. And it's really bruising there. And that could close the eye from underneath.
Well, Thomas again takes a step back and looks at the referee, and at some point Thomas has to worry about the guy in front of him more than the third guy.
I think it's amazing, and to Hill's credit really, that he hasn't let up on the body punching.
Thomas started to walk away.
Now that's some gamesmanship, I suppose, by Thomas, but all that does is serve to incite the crowd here.
Exactly.
In the corner they were telling Hill to make sure you win the last part of the round.
Good body shot again by Hill. You're right, he keeps going right back to the well.
Thomas has a heck of a good body punch with the left hand himself. He should throw that punch more often. Hill has done a good job at maintaining the fight out at center ring and maintaining it as a long-range fight, which serves to his advantage and to the detriment of Glenn Thomas.
Hill now waiting on Thomas. Thomas not obliging. Thomas wants Hill to come to him. Our card here in North Dakota, of course, you'll be able to see all the highlights, get all the results on Fox Sports News Prime Time. Comes your way every night at 10 o'clock. So join Keith Olbermann and the gang nightly on Fox Sports News Prime Time.
These fans are so into Virgil Hill, they're screaming and yelling even when the action is sparse and the left jab misses.
Yeah, so you do kind of get a skewed view of what's really going on here if you're listening at home. Let's go to Sean O'Grady for comments. Sean?
In the corner of Virgil Hill, Mike Hall is trying to urge his fighter on. Why are you wanting so many punches right now? You trying to go for the knockout, Mike?
We can go home if he hits this guy with a three-piece combination. If he puts them together, he'll get rid of the guy instead of standing around just pop shopping, you know. But
so you're wanting 3 and 4 punches?
That's what I want. I want combinations. That's Virgil Hill's forte, is combination.
Do you think he can still get a knockout in this fight?
I think he can still get one. Yeah. You throw combination punches, you can easily knock somebody out.
Are the low blows
put them together?
Are the low blows controlling his body punches? Because Virgil Hill's gotten off the body.
They saying if they low, but I don't think they're low blows. He just don't want to get hit to the body.
What is all this?
I just told him before, don't fall into this guy's trap. You know,
a lot of showboating. Okay, guys, they want to turn up the heat over here in this corner.
All right, thanks, Sean. A little gamesmanship, I think, is what we just saw, Rich.
He was mocking Glenn Thomas, but while that interview was taking place, Thomas did land his best punch of the fight, a strong right hand.
End of 8. We're coming back. And Rich, you of course have it that it would have to be a knockout for Glenn Thomas to get it done here, and I don't think Glenn Thomas is in that frame of mind right now. Did throw a good hard right hand there.
There were a couple of rounds that were fairly close there that you probably could have built a case for Glenn, but I gave those being rounds 5 and 6. But I thought really the rest of them were overwhelmingly for Virgil Hill.
This is a good fight, as it's turned out for Virgil Hill. Got the rounds in, had to work.
You know, I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility. People might not believe it, but that Virgil Hill could become world champion again in the cruiserweight division.
I agree.
He is ranked 4th right now in the WBA. And the man who was champion for Beast Chiozo is a man that Virgil Hill has defeated in his career when Hill was champion. They might fight a rematch, you know, 7 years after they fought the first time.
That's the story of the cruiserweight division. I think there have only been about 4 champions in 50 years.
Well, I don't think it's a particularly distinguished division right now, or ever, actually.
Sugar De Leon still... Well, Virgil Hill, when he looks in the mirror tomorrow, is going to know that he's been in a fight. Pumpiness, as you mentioned earlier, under the left eye, a little bit under the right eye, too, and a little bit over the left eye. And Thomas just falls down. I think that's more a matter of fatigue than anything else. 30 seconds remaining in this one. There's another low blow. Thomas is that one was low. But Thomas is just sort of resigned to it at this point.
Now, Thomas hung in there for 10. He was still firing in this round. And Hill pleasing the fans, I guess you could say at this point.
A lot of love lost between these two guys.
No, there wasn't even a congratulatory tap of the gloves, or certainly no hug between the two, at least so far.
I think Virgil Hill is complaining about the fact that Glenn Thomas headbutted him, and in Glenn Thomas's corner, they still are ragging on the referee, although I think the referee did a pretty good job.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we have a unanimous decision. All 3 judges scored about exactly the same, 99 to 92. All 3 in favor of the winner, Virgil Hill.
So Virgil Hill in action there. Class fighter in his day, of course, and just starting to look a little bit bothered.
On my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with brown trim, hailing from St. Louis, Missouri. He weighed in at a trim and ready 172 pounds with a fine record of 24 wins, only 1 defeat. He has 21 big wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former IBF light heavyweight champion of the world, known as Kid Chocolate, introducing William Guthrie. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trunks and fighting out of Davenport, Iowa. He weighed in at 173 pounds. His record stands at 53 wins, 4 losses, with 34 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former IBF middleweight world champion, the former WBA super middleweight champion, the current WBC number 5 ranked light heavyweight contender. Introducing Michael, second to none. Once again, Rick Woodward, our referee in charge, now to give instructions.
Okay, you gentlemen got your instructions in the locker rooms. I want you guys to do 2 things. I want you guys to listen to me at all times, and you protect yourselves at all times. Okay, touch gloves. Good luck. Step back to your corners.
Nunn smiling. Guthrie all business there for the stare down.
Bob.
Well, Guthrie, a guy really does have something to prove. Stepped up in his caliber competition to Reggie Johnson and promptly got himself whacked. And Michael Nunn, of course, he's not stepping off the gas here. Guthrie said he was going to get right after Nunn. He felt Nunn would run. A reputation, incidentally, that Michael Nunn has had on more than one occasion. Before we get too far into this fight, let's put the capper on the last fight as Guthrie doing some business against the ropes on Nunn here. And that is, we mentioned earlier that Glenn Thomas, the loser of the last fight, and a good left hand from Guthrie. Again, we'll hold it here for just a moment.
Guthrie working, but Nunn is very adept at blocking punches on the ropes. Oh, he got hit cleanly there, though.
Good right hand. Well, Guthrie doing exactly what he said. Got to keep something in the tank, though, because Nunn does not appear to be hurt.
Nunn will goof around at times, though, and this may not be a guy to goof around with.
Better fight out.
And still, despite all that punishment, Nunn does not appear to really be hurt. Nonetheless, some good shots by Guthrie.
Watch your heads, guys. Watch your heads.
Not a bad ploy by Michael Nunn, if in fact it is a ploy.
Watch the pushes. Watch the elbows. Watch the elbows. Let him go. Let him
And
go.
Guthrie holding now.
Nunn actually did get hit cleanly, though, a couple of times there, Barry, in that mix, which, if you remember earlier in his career, he never used to get hit clean. He rarely lost a round.
We'll get to that story of Glenn Thomas. Sean O'Grady does have an update, and we'll get to that right after this first round.
Nunn, of course, has 36-year-old legs as well, so you're not going to see him dancing for 10 rounds either. In fact, Guthrie hasn't had to look far for Nunn. He's right in front of him.
No, and we talk about what is this going to take out of Guthrie, but I think you could ask that question the other way, too. What's it going to take out of Michael Nunn? Pretty good left hand by Nunn. Landed in the back of the head, behind the ear. Nunn is not a guy who's going to get you out of there with one punch.
Well, he did with Sambu Kalambe.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
This was one of the great shots. But that was the greatest moment, I think, probably of his career.
Guthrie just stumbled back into the ropes.
But other than that Kalambe fight, it's been a situation where he's needed an accumulation of punches.
Really interesting first round. And then Nunn actually came on toward the end of the first round. Things were much more on an even footing. But you make an interesting point, too, in that Michael Nunn has not done the disappearing act. He's been right there. And Nunn really does look fit. That's another thing that you need mention.
Well, you can see right away the difference in the hand speed, just the difference in the overall quickness of Michael Nunn now as he fights here, compared to one of those couple of occasions when we saw him over 190 pounds. That dreadful fight he had with Glenn Thomas.
And there's Guthrie again with that right hand in close quarters.
Guthrie is setting himself, getting on balance, and digging with a lot of leverage when he throws those punches. two have a chance to rise in the rankings very quickly because of recent losses by the top two guys, Derek Harmon and Montel Griffin. So they have an opportunity to rise in the ranks.
There's a good left hand from Nunn.
Very sharp, crisp punch by Michael Nunn. Operating tonight without Joe Goosen as trainer. And Nunn, I think his record with Goosen in the corner is something like 43-1.
Another left hand by Nunn, and Nunn again with a combination.
Quick, step back. Lots of pushing.
Since that opening rally by Guthrie, Nunn on an even footing. There was a right hand by Guthrie.
Both of these guys were street kids coming up. In Guthrie's case, he was in an area of St. Louis and the projects there. It was such a combat zone, they called it Vietnam, his area where he grew up. And he started actually boxing. His mom put him into the ring in some little kid gloves thing when he was 4 years old. So he said he was either boxing in the ring or boxing out in the streets. He said the only time I wasn't making a fist is when I was eating. And we really weren't eating that often.
Watch your head, guys. Watch your head.
That area of St. Louis has produced some awfully good athletes, too.
Excellent work by Nunn, and
Down goes Guthrie in a heap.
2 just sharp, crisp punches by Nunn.
4, 5, 6.
Guthrie says he's all right. He is not all right.
Not at all.
Give me your gloves.
His legs are gone, Barry. This could be easy pickings for Nunn here.
And Nunn gets right on him, and wisely so. That actually could be considered a knockdown, even though it was a full takedown.
Watch your holding.
Guthrie is ready to be taken right now if Nunn can land a clean punch or two.
He's still in big trouble. Still in huge trouble. I'm just trying to hold on.
He has no legs whatsoever.
And this will be a standing 8 count, and the 3 knockdown rule is also in effect, remember.
One of the few states where you have a standing 8 count for fighters. And so that is the second knockdown.
And the bell. And that is a case of the bell clearly saving a fighter. This is a round where I think any trainer would say, and I know you would, run. Stay out of harm's way. Run like a deer. Down he goes again.
He's calling that no knockdown.
Oh, that's interesting.
And he told the referee, Underwood told Guthrie, you've got to get your balance. You've got to get your balance for me. Otherwise, he's going to stop it.
And Guthrie not really running, and I think running would be an excellent concept.
His legs are just out of it.
Absolutely. And it still will not take very much.
He has not run, and he has not held.
And he still has no legs. It will take very little for Nunn to get Guthrie out of here.
That was a really great body shot by Nunn. That's one area of Nunn that is vastly underrated by the public. Doesn't pay attention. Nunn does a good job on that body. You see all those jabs and punches from the outside, but Michael can land good to the midsection as well.
Guthrie trying to do some business in close quarters, but there's a left hand from Nunn. And now Guthrie holds on.
And a little wild here.
Well, Guthrie not doing what we suspected he would. In fact, he's kind of fighting Nunn.
Yeah, he's fighting his way back into it. He's trying to get a rhythm going here, Barry. I'm looking at his legs. Still a little wobbly, but better than they were.
Better than they were, yeah. But there's a right hand from Guthrie.
Nunn can't get too reckless here because Guthrie has the power to put any light heavyweight down.
Good flash of heads there, too, I believe.
And you could hear them. See how Nunn's still working the body here, too. Head and body.
Nunn's throwing a lot of arm punches.
Yeah, I think he's gotten a little wild in this round. Because I think he felt that he had Guthrie at his mercy. And Guthrie trying to fight out of the fog.
Well, he's done a pretty good job of it. I wouldn't have given him a prayer of getting through this round. I think he not only got through it, he might have won it. It's a big cut over Nunn's eye. Here is your card after 3 rounds. You and I both made that second round a 10-7 round.
Now let's see if Guthrie can continue coming back into himself. And Nunn threw a lot of punches in that last round in an attempt to get Guthrie out of there.
Now in Guthrie's corner, his people said to him at the end of that last round, don't get too brave. Now they're both laying on each other. This fight has already taken a lot of different twists and turns.
Nunn working strictly the body there in that exchange.
And strictly with all arms, too, not snapping anything. And there's one.
He knocked him down with a jab.
And I don't know if he went down. I think he was caught by the bottom rope unless his hand touched.
Yeah, but that's enough for a referee, of course, to rule a knockdown.
You watch it, Pete, step. Fuck.
And there's a good right hand by Nunn. That was a good clean shot. Now Guthrie will run. Chopping left.
Nunn coming fast, but not quite as wild as he was in round 3 and trying to get the job done here.
But it's more footwork than handwork right now.
He's looking at his opponent now. He's looking for a real opening this time.
Guthrie's legs do not appear to be in as bad shape as they were after the first knockout.
And of course, they can't be all the way back, Barry, if he's getting knocked down with a jab. Guthrie really looks surprised by that punch.
Nunn laying in, Guthrie peppering him with the right hand.
William Guthrie, he's had a wild life, I'll tell you, from that upbringing that we mentioned, to spending 3 years in a federal prison on a drug dealing charge, to becoming the light heavyweight champion of the world, and now he's fighting for his survival.
And it's a tenuous fight right at the moment. Coming to the end of the 4th round, and that one jab that knocked Guthrie down, the difference in the round. And that cut has not opened up again. A great job in the corner on the cut of Michael Nunn. Let's go to Sean O'Grady. Sean?
Jack Durnall. Okay, Jack Durnall in the corner of William Guthrie. How is he staying in this fight? I thought it was going to be over in the second.
Yeah, he's just got guts. He's in good shape. He'll come back. If he can stay in the fight a couple more rounds, he'll come back.
You know, he's been able to land a few punches, but can you put combinations together?
Yeah, he will eventually if he gets his timing. He's just having trouble getting started. He got caught early, and he just can't get started now.
Nunn's too slick in there. Catches one.
He's real hard to hit, yeah. He's hard to hit.
What are you going to do around?
I just told him to box and move around a little bit and wait till he gets his stuff back together.
Try to get his...
Try to get his timing back together and then come back.
Guthrie's hurt.
Okay, so we'll be looking for that. Back over to you guys.
All right, thanks. A flurry by Michael Nunn. I didn't see a lot of those punches land, but I think even hitting him on the gloves is having an effect on Guthrie right now.
Yeah, I think Guthrie's hurt right now. I think Nunn is hurting him with body and head punches, and I think Guthrie's ready to go.
And another standing 8.
It's one of the few states that allows this, a standing 8 count. Guthrie is now also bleeding profusely from the nose, his face looking jaded at this point, and Nunn in complete command.
Yeah, absolutely now. And once again, Guthrie looking like he did in the second round, that his legs are betraying him.
And this is not a normal posture for Guthrie going backwards.
just looking for the one shot now. And in this case, that might be enough.
Guthrie still trying at times to jab if he can, try to get some kind of rhythm going. But he's got no legs, and he's clearly in a daze.
Clutching going on at the moment as we wind down in round 5. Virtually every time Nunn hits Guthrie with a clean shot, it staggers Guthrie. There's a good shot right there.
I don't even know how Guthrie stood up to that one.
He stood up pretty well, better than he did from some lesser shots. But a long night for Guthrie, and other than that first round flurry to start things, it's been a completely lopsided fight. In fact, it's a good old-fashioned whooping.
Well, Nunn right now is building up an astronomical lead, obviously, on the scorecards. He's rolling up 10-8 and 10-7 rounds with all these knockdowns. But, so for Guthrie, I mean, it's quite clear the task is just to catch lightning in a bottle one time, to try to land some Sunday shot to make something unbelievably dramatic happen.
And when your legs are gone, it's really hard to do that. Nunn still has some quickness, able to get out of the way of punches just with his body. So you get the sense that Guthrie is stung by every clean punch.
Nunn really hasn't gotten to work yet in this round, although suddenly he seems to get intent on his job.
Yeah, three-punch combination there. Again, Guthrie into the ropes, and again a left hand.
This is clearly Michael Nunn's most impressive fight in many years.
Yes.
Step back. Let him go now. You're pulling him in.
Well, every now and then you get a wake-up call, and some fighters get them at one point in their career, some fighters get them at a later point, and hopefully this would be Michael Nunn's.
Wobble. Nunn will surprise you with his ability to fight off the ropes the way that he can.
He does so many things well. Oh, huge left hand and another standing 8 count. That was a huge shot.
It's time to stop this fight.
Yes, it is.
You know, there's no point in the standing 8. Look at him tilting. He looks like the leaning Tower of Pisa. Oh, I can't believe he's letting it go on.
Yeah.
That's 5 knockdowns. There's no point. The man is out of it. Holy Toledo. Enough is enough. Now, Nunn just destroying William Guthrie. There, the clean punch. Looked like Guthrie's head was going to fly off into the crowd. Another standing 8 count. Now, how much can any man take?
That was right on the button. Guthrie asked for one more round, and he'll get at least a part of it.
Now, that's 5 knockdowns by my count.
And there's another one that buckled it. That's got to be it. Well, everything that William Guthrie was not in this fight, Michael Nunn was.
For William Guthrie, I think it's the end of the line. For Michael Nunn, perhaps a whole new career, born at the age of 36.
Well, he was very impressive in every way, and it must be said, I mean, William Guthrie was not a guy who falls into that category of opponent. I mean, this is a guy with some credentials.
All right, Nunn, sharp, concise all night. Look at these clean punches he lands again. Guthrie completely at his mercy, and finally, the referee steps in.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 22 seconds of round number 7. Our referee in charge, Rick Woodward, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout, Michael, second to none.